from State Central of the Republican Party here in the 33rd. My partner on the team, Cindy Vericchio, is also with me. She had to make sure that I was able to communicate effectively with you tonight. One of the things that I'm very impressed by what we've seen tonight is the number of women candidates. Janet Peckinpah, Daria Novak, Marilyn Giuliani, who has served us long and well. It's terrific. From Connecticut to California, we have strong Republican women candidates, and it's very, very impressive. Today, we Republicans are feeling a wind at our back. I'm sorry, Ms. Dean, I forgot you.
That's okay. Vote for me, not because I'm a woman, but because you think I'm good.
What I was about to get to is, all the way across our country, we Republicans are feeling a wind at our back as we are fielding a group of candidates second to none in our history. We have more candidates for state offices in the state of Connecticut than Christopher Healy or some of the people that have been around a long time, like Ed Munster, my campaign manager, have ever seen. It's a wonderful thing at the convention to see a marvelous group of people get up and explain why they should be our election candidates. How can we fail to elect every single one of them to our office? We have a large population, but they'd be a lot of great candidates. I had prepared about a 6-minute speech for you, but unfortunately, something happened on the way to the forum. In a statement from Mike Fidelli, one of the things that we get as State Central members is campaign information from a variety of people. But Lieutenant Governor Fidelli said the decision by the Fitch rating to downgrade the credit rating on our state bonds should be a wake-up call for the state officials and the taxpayers who pay the bill. I was a member of an EMS in Wilton, Connecticut. I also was in Strategic Air Command in the Air Force. And I'll tell you one thing, when the bell goes off, you hit the floor, you're running, your boots are on, your jacket is buttoned, and you're on your way to whatever fire or emergency you're going to be running into. Our legislators have ignored for 18 years the fire bell. Are we going to take that anymore?
No way.
Are we going to do something about it?
Yes, sir.
And what are we going to do? Elect Republicans. Sorry, Eileen takes care of the rats. We know what that is. Someday we ought to have a conversation about the rats. I think you'd all learn something. For too long, the legislators have ignored what was important. It started with El Grasso, continued by O'Neill. 18 years ago, we were in the third quartile of bonded indebtedness per capita. You know where we are today? Number 1. A dubious distinction. California, which everybody says is on the very verge of bankruptcy, is number 18 on the list. How did we get there? It was hard work, but somebody had to do it. And Eileen, as chair of the bonding commission, got right into the work and accomplished her mission. Let's turn Eileen out. Let's do it together. Eileen sees that our problems are on the revenue side. We haven't got enough revenue to accomplish all the goals and programs that she wants to see in place. Sorry, I have a little different opinion. I think that our problems are on the spending side. When we have to take our teachers' pension plans and forego the payments so that we can afford more programs, when we have to take bonded indebtedness and make our deficit go away and burden our children's children with the obligations, the current obligations of our state, does that make sense to you? What are we going to do about it?
Road map south.
Elect Republicans.
Road map south.
My goal is to fight for our state's survival, the survival and growth of our small businesses, and the well-being of our overtaxed citizens. I grew up here in Connecticut. I'm a vet, a former commercial pilot, and perish the thought, a union leader at Pan American World Airways. I also served in management at the airline, and after its demise, joined a company called T.O. Richardson, rising to be, within 5 years, an owner of the company and eventually senior vice president, marketing and sales. I currently serve as a consultant to Efficient Marketing Advisors, to whom we sold the company in 2006. I am a lifelong Republican. If you lived on Mountain Road in West Hartford, about 1956, you saw me putting signs in lawns. I worked every campaign that I could. NBC used to have that thing in New York where during the elections, they would hire kids as runners. I was one of those runners. During the Reagan years, I was one of those runners in Goldwater. I'm a fiscal conservative. I'm dedicated to lower taxes, smaller government, accountability and measurement, or success or failure of government programs. I ask for your support for my campaign. I invite you to get involved. Somebody said to me one day, well, the reason I am not involved is because nobody ever asked. Ladies and gentlemen, consider yourself asked. You've heard from a lot of very good candidates tonight. Get involved. Adopt a campaign. Volunteer. Whether it's to answer phones, pack bags, or just help out. Get involved. The worst thing in the world will happen. Because if you don't get involved, then you deserve the government you get. I ran against Jamie Sloan a couple of years ago, and I lost. And after I lost, my wife, Allison, sitting right here, said to me, Neil, I don't ever want you running for office again. Because I was worried all this time that you were going to have a heart attack. In December, the second week, Eileen Daly wrote an article, you probably remember it, maybe you don't. It was called Opinion, in our local weekly paper that we get. And in it she talked about why she felt so comfortable with the fact that the legislature did nothing in response to the governor's requests again and again to solve the budget dilemma. Eileen said, we had no alternative. It was just horrible. We had to ignore the governor's plea. That, ladies and gentlemen, is no excuse for doing nothing. I've made hard decisions all of my life. As a union leader at Pan American, when Pan American was in its death throes, we were approached about coming up with a 4-year plan to keep the company running. I was one of the people in the Joint Labor Council that sat down with the people at the Teamsters and said to them, you have got to be part of the solution. And he said, oh, no, we've got a contract. And I said, yeah, we all do, right? Anyway, we prevailed, and we achieved a 5-year plan for the company, and it was something that ensured the company's survival until Delta pulled the debtor in possession financing away from us, and we shut the airline down on 4 December 1991. I'm used to making hard decisions. I'm used to being a conservative. I want your vote. I need your help. And by the way, right here on the table and on the far table is a single-page letter, attached to it a contribution form. Please feel free to take 1, 2, or 3, or 4 home and help me become your next senator in the 33rd. Thank you.